What?
What?
What the hell is this?
Harumph. I didn't get a harumph out of that guy.
Give the governor harumph.
Harumph!
You watch your ass.
I see you shiver with anticipation.
Let the show begin.
Hey everybody, this is David Heretic coming at you with another edition of Reactions, Reviews, and Rants. And tonight... Oh man, okay. Hey, look, it's requested, we gotta do it. We're coming back to Abbott and Costello. Yes, indeed. Abbott and Costello fans? Feeling? You, come on now. Here we go. Before we go any further, for those of you who are feeling inclined to do all the clicks and the likes and the bibbity-boobity bop, do me a favor, before you do all that stuff, please watch the whole video first, okay? Give me a chance to actually earn those clicks and likes. Now, after the video's done, if you still feel like doing all those clicks and likes, then by all means, feel free to click away. This comes as a request from Anonymous. Wishes to remain anonymous. That's not really the name, but this individual wanted to remain anonymous. It's the same person who requested the other skit that I did for Abbott and Costello. So here we go. The one I'm sure everybody's been waiting for. We're going to be doing a reaction to probably Abbott and Costello's most famous skit of all time, Who's on First? Now, have I seen or heard this before? Full disclosure, yes. Yes, I have. I have heard this more times than I could possibly count. There used to be a radio station out in Ventura County called Comedy Radio, KMDY. Just out of curiosity, does anybody remember KMDY? Anybody remember Comedy Radio? If you do, let me know in the comments. Yeah, I used to listen to KMDY a lot, and they would play this like at least once a day. At least. This is one of their go-tos. I've also used to have cassette tapes of classic radio, and I had like 4 or 5 tapes for them and Costello, and I had 2 different versions of Who's on First on those 2 tapes. So used to listen to it all the time. I had this routine down, like I had memorized. I wanted to do it for a talent show, but I couldn't find anybody to be Abbott. I was the short, chubby kid, so I wanted to be Costello, obviously. Let's see. So I've heard this. I know I've seen it too. I saw it in the movie The Naughty 90s, which was an Abbott and Costello movie.
Me out with the crowds. Buy me some peanuts, popcorn, beautiful package of Papa Jacks here. Papa Jacks, will you keep quiet, Sebastian? Excuse me, please. Sebastian, please. Don't interrupt my act.
Now, here's the thing about that skit. The Naughty 90s version, I always felt was very dry. And the reason it was very dry, and to some extent a little boring, is because it was done in a movie where there was no audience. There was no audience noise. Everybody had to be dead quiet. So there was no crowd reaction. And that to me, that always kind of came off as being a little bit dry.
Well, then who's playing first?
Yes.
I mean, the fellow's name on first base.
Who?
The fellow playing first base for St. Louis.
Who?
The guy on first base.
Who is on first?
Well, what are you asking me for?
And I get it. It's a movie. I understand. But that was actually a funny story from what I remember reading in or not reading, but watching the documentary on Abbott and Costello. When they were filming that scene, they had to do like 20 some odd takes because the crew kept cracking up. The crew kept, laughing, and they didn't want that for the movie, so the director had to keep yelling, cut, and we're going to try again. And finally, like the 23rd or 25th take or something like that, they finally got it. You could still hear a couple of, a couple of snorts and stuff like that, so it was in there. But the director was like, that's as good as we're going to get it, so let's just roll with it. So there was that. But I always did feel that this was kind of lacking life because there was no crowd interaction or there was no crowd response. Now, when I spoke to Anonymous, I did tell Anonymous I saw the Naughty 90s version. Anonymous assured me this is not from the movie. Anonymous, if I remember correctly, Anonymous told me this was actually from the television show, which I never followed. Shame on me. I never followed the Abbott and Costello TV show. I heard there was some great things done in there. I saw a couple of episodes, but I didn't see a lot of them, unfortunately. But anyway, full disclosure, I have heard this, I have seen this, but from what I understand, I have not seen this version. So this is going to be a fresh reaction of sorts. This was posted by Chris Rice, okay? And the video has 972,403 views. It'll get you there. Other than that, there's really nothing else left to say. Link to the original video will be down below in the video description for your viewing pleasure at your leisure. Let's get started. What do you say? Are you ready? Are you ready? Because here we go. All right, here we go. Who's on first? Abbott and Costello. Cool. All right, let's do this.
All right, boy, let's do this.
Friends, I told you that my partner would be here, and here he is. Didn't you expect him, did you? Now, he always shapes up. Now, why not let the folks themselves ask for something that they like to hear?
All right, what would they like to hear? I'll do
Something
it.
different. Now,
Okay.
is there anything special that
Moby
you would
Dick.
like to hear us do?
Let's hear Moby Dick.
Oh, no, wait a minute, friends. You don't want to hear that, do you?
Yeah, we got the props for you here. Oh, you came prepared, didn't you?
All set, huh? Well, this is a must. I guess it's a must. We've got to do it. Well, I'll tell you what to do. Let me see. It looks all right.
Okay, oh
Now, we'll
boy.
pretend. We'll just. All right, I'll take it easy with that. We'll just pretend that
Foley artist.
we're organizing a baseball team here at the retired actors' home.
Foley artist over on stage, right? Love it. Good timing. Really good timing on the Foley artist part. Timing the block hit with the bat. Really nice job on his part.
And I am the manager. Now,
You're going to be the manager of the retired actors baseball team?
yes.
I would like to join the retired actors baseball team.
Oh, you would?
And I would like to know some of the guys' names on the team, so if I want to play with them, I'll know them, and I meet them on the street or in the home here, I can say hello to them.
Oh, sure. But you know they give baseball players nowadays very peculiar names.
I know, a lot of funny names.
You know, like Sticky
Nicknames.
Fields,
Sticky Field.
Goofy Dan, Boopy Bobber, Booby Bobber.
I know all those.
Well, let's see now. We have on our team, we have who's on first, what's on second, I don't know's on third.
That's what I want to find
And
out, the guy's names.
And then,
That's what I want to find out, the guy's name.
I'm telling you, who's on first, what's on second, I don't know's on third.
Now, Abbott, you
Now-
going to be the manager of the baseball team?
Yes.
You know the guy's names?
Well, I should.
Well, then you tell me the guy's names on the baseball
I
team.
say, who's on first, what's on second, I don't know's on third.
You ain't saying nothing to me yet. Go ahead and tell me.
I'm telling you.
You ain't said nothing yet. Go ahead and tell me.
Who's
This is
on first,
different.
what's on second, I don't know is on third.
You know the guy's names on the baseball team?
Yes.
Well, go ahead. Who's on first?
Yes.
I mean the guy's name.
Who?
The guy playing first.
Who?
The guy playing first base.
Who?
The guy on first base.
Who is on first?
What are you asking me for? I don't know.
Now, wait a minute, I'm not...
I'm
was
asking you
different.
who's on first.
That's his name.
Well, go ahead and tell me.
Who?
The guy on first.
That's it. That's his name.
Well, you ain't said nothing. I ain't asked you nothing.
You did.
You know the guy's name on first base?
Sure.
Well, tell me the guy's name on first base.
Who?
The guy playing first base.
Who is on first, Lou?
What are you asking me
Now,
for?
don't get excited. I'm saying who...
There's some variances. There's some definite variances compared to what they did with the movie. And even what I've heard on the radio, this sounds and this they're doing stuff that I don't remember in the radio programs. So that's cool. I love Lou Costello's body language. He goes from 0 to 60 like that. I love that. Very sudden. Great facial expressions to boot. Abbott, probably one of the best straight men in the business. He was, man, the guy could just keep a straight face, work right off of Lou's comedy shtick, the slapstick, everything that he would do, the body language, the voice inflections, everything. Bud was always very good at that, for the most part. Later on, toward the end of their career, he had his battle with alcoholism. That's not a secret. Everybody knows about that. And his timing started to get off a little bit. He wasn't able to keep up with Lou as well. One thing that people don't know about this, when they would do this skit, everybody assumes that it was Abbott who would lead. Abbott would lead and Lou would respond. It was actually the other way around. Lou would lead and Abbott would respond, but they would do it in an inverse way to make it look like Abbott was leading. But you'll notice the proof is here. Lou feeds him the line and he responds, right? Even though it seems like Abbott's leading. It seems that way. But Abbott's actually responding to everything Lou says. Lou's the one leading, Abbott's responding. But the way they deliver it, it seems like it's the other way around. It's such a great play, man. It really is. It's such a psychological play. It's fantastic. It's one of the reasons why this skit holds up and, stands the test of time.
I'm asking you a simple question. Who's on first?
Yes.
Well, go ahead and tell me.
That's it.
That's who? I'm asking you, what's the guy's name on first base?
Oh, no, what's on second?
I'm not asking you who's on second.
Who's on first?
One base at a time now.
Don't mix up my...
I
I
don't
remember
mix up
that.
anybody. Now, what's the guy's name on first base?
Now, what is on second?
I'm not asking you who's on second.
Who is on first?
I don't know.
He's on third. We're not talking.
Facial expression.
Wait a minute. Whoa.
Now, well, let's not...
Whoa. How did I get on third base?
You mentioned his name.
I mentioned his name.
Yes.
I don't know anybody's name on the team. How could I mention a guy's name?
You did. You just mentioned it.
All right, what's the guy's name on third base?
Good
No,
feed.
what's on second?
Who's on second?
Who's on first?
I don't know.
He's on first.
See what I mean? I didn't even mention a guy's name on third base.
Yes, you did.
All right, then who's playing third base?
No, who's on first?
I'm not asking you what's on first.
What's on second?
Who's on second?
Who's on first?
I don't know. He's third base. Third base.
You see what I mean about the feeding? Lou feeds Abbott. Abbott does not feed Lou. It's fantastic, but they make it seem like Abbott's leading the charge. It's fantastic. Great psychological twist. Again, the body language, the response from Lou, even though he's leading, so good, man. It's so good. Good on them, man. These guys it's still funny. And I am seeing variances, so I don't know how much this was rehearsed. I mean, I get the feeling that some of this stuff that they're doing here, I've never heard on any of the radio plays, and I've never heard, they didn't do this during the movie either. So I wonder if some of this is improv. I wonder if it is. I hope it is. I mean, it's, again, if they can do this like in an improv basis, it's really going to come down to Lou leading the charge and how quickly and smoothly Bud Abbott can respond. So we'll see how this goes.
I don't know anybody on a baseball team.
You do. You mention their names.
I do?
Sure.
You got an outfield?
Well, naturally.
The left fielder's name.
Why?
Smooth delivery.
I just thought I'd ask you.
Well, I just thought I'd tell you.
Well, go ahead. Tell me.
Tell you what?
The left fielder's name.
Why?
Because I want to know. Because.
Oh, he's center field. You know these players as well as
Who's
I.
in center field?
Now, who's on first?
What's on first?
Great
I
catch.
don't know. Third base.
Great catch.
Do you know the guy's name?
I don't remember that transition. Hold on. I don't remember that at all.
Center field. You know these players as well as
Who's
I.
in center field?
Now, who's on first?
What?
That line, who's in center field? I've never heard that on any of the radio plays or in the movie. That was new. And again, he throws the pitch, no pun intended. Lou throws the pitch. Bud takes the swing and hits the ball. Perfect timing. Great delivery. Good Lord.
The left fielder's name.
Why?
Because I want to know. Because.
Oh, he's center field. You know these players as well as
Who's
I.
in center field?
Now, who's on first?
What's on first?
What's on second?
Great
I don't know.
catch.
Third base. Do you know
Man.
the guy's names on the team?
Look, Louis, you don't seem to understand. See, I have a first baseman.
I know you got a first.
gets his-
I asked you
he
what's
gets his-
the first. I asked you what's the first baseman's name.
No, what's the second baseman's name?
I'm going to stop asking you. So I asked you what's the first baseman's name.
What's the second baseman's name?
I don't even get past the first. All right, who's on second?
Who's on first?
What base do you want to talk about?
You talk about anyone you want to talk about.
All right, now who's on first?
Right.
Okay.
No.
All right, you got a first baseman. When you pay off the first baseman every month, who gets the money?
Every dollar.
Okay.
Every dollar of it.
Who gets it?
He does.
He does. Yep.
Sometimes his wife comes down and collects it.
Whose wife?
Yes. Why not, Lou? He's earned it.
Who did it?
Yes.
This is
When
all
you pay
new.
off the first baseman every month, you get a receipt from the guy?
Sure.
How does he sign his name?
Who?
The guy you give the money to.
Who?
The guy you give the money to.
Well, that's how he signs it.
That's
Lou.
how who signs it?
Yes.
Go ahead, tell me.
That's it.
Who?
The receipt part. Again, I don't remember that from the movie, and I do not remember that from the radio programs. I'm really starting to believe that they're improvising a lot in this, and kudos to both of them for being able to roll with the punches the way they are. I love that. Again, just shows the talent. It shows the attention to detail. It shows the dedication to their craft. And that's fantastic, man. Man, I miss comedy like this. I really do. I miss that vaudevillian style comedy. Abbott and Costello, Laurel and Hardy, the Marx Brothers. I miss these guys, man. Really do.
Look, you go to first baseman.
Yes.
And you say to him, here's your money, sign the receipt. How does he sign his name?
Who?
The guy you give the money to.
That's how he signs it.
That's how who signs it?
Yes.
Sure. You gotta get a receipt from the guy, don't you?
Get one, Lou.
How does the guy on first base sign his name?
Who?
The guy on first.
That's how he signs it.
I'm asking, when you give the guy the money, what's the guy's name that you give the money to?
Now, wait a minute. What signs his own?
Who signs his own?
No, who signs his?
I mean, what's the guy's name on first you give
What is on
What a
second?
great
I'm
transition.
not asking you who's on second.
And we're back to the
on
bases.
first?
I don't know. Third base. Left fielder's name, the center field. I don't know if you got a pitcher on the team.
Well, this will be a fine team without a pitcher.
It's a fine team. The pitcher's name.
Tomorrow.
You don't want to tell me the
I
date?
can't change that
You
name.
don't want to tell me the date?
I love his reaction there.
I'm telling you.
Go ahead. Tell me the pitcher's name.
Tomorrow.
Why not tell me today? I'm going to wait till tomorrow. Then tell me the pitcher's name.
Tomorrow.
All right. What time tomorrow you tell me the pitcher's name?
What time what?
What time tomorrow you going to tell me who's pitching?
Who is not pitching?
I'll break you around, you say who's on first. I want to know what's the pitcher's name.
What's on second?
I don't know. Third base. Third base. Third base. You got a catcher?
Certainly you've got a catcher on a baseball team.
Catcher's name.
Today.
Today. Tomorrow's pitching. Today's catcher.
Now you've got it.
Now I got it. All I got, we got a couple of days on the team. That's all.
I can't help that, Lou. I don't
You know,
need
Abbott, I'm a pretty good catcher myself.
it. So they tell me.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go. Now here's where we're starting to send it home now. Okay. It's fun watching this. It's fun listening to this for two reasons. One, like I said, I'm seeing and hearing things that I've never heard before in the skit that I'm familiar with, but there's some new parts. And it's always fun watching Lou Costello's body language and his facial expressions. It can be subtle, and then as the frustration grows, it gets more and more and more volatile. It's fun. It's really, really fun to watch.
I get behind the plate, and I'm going to do some fancy catching, and tomorrow's pitching on my team, right?
Yeah.
Now, tomorrow he winds up the ball, and I'm behind the plate, and the heavy hitter gets up.
Yeah.
Now, the heavy hitter gets up, and he's ready to hit the ball, and tomorrow's going to throw the ball, and I'm the catcher. Now, when tomorrow throws the ball, the guy up bunts the ball. Now, when he bunts the ball, me being a good catcher, I want to throw the guy out of first base, so I pick up the ball and throw it to who?
Now, that's the first thing you've said right.
I don't even know what I'm talking about.
Well, that's all you have to do.
Is to throw the ball to first base.
Yes.
Now, who's got it?
Naturally.
Sure. Look, the guy is running to first base, Abbott. I want to throw the guy out. So I throw the ball to who?
Naturally.
I throw it to who?
Naturally.
Naturally.
Who's got it?
Naturally.
Yeah.
So I pick up the ball and I throw it to Natural.
No. You throw the ball to first base, then who gets it?
Naturally.
That's it. Now you've got
That's the same thing. I pick up the ball, so I throw it to Natural.
You don't.
I throw it to who?
Natural.
That's what I'm saying!
Saying that.
I said I throw the ball to who?
Naturally.
You ask me.
You throw the ball to who?
Naturally. Same as you!
Say it that
I throw the ball to Natural.
Same as
You
you.
throw it to who?
Now, who's got it? Naturally, that's what I said. Whoever it is better get it. That's all I
Get it.
can
Don't
tell you.
worry about
He
who.
better
We'll
get it.
Yes.
He better get it.
Yeah.
Now, I throw the ball to whoever it is drops the ball so the guy runs a second. Who picks up the ball and throws it to what? What throws it? I don't know. Throws it back to Tamar. Triple play.
Could be.
Another guy gets up and it's a long fly ball to be caused. Why? I don't know. He's on third and I don't give a darn. I said, I don't give a darn.
Oh, that's our shortstop.
I thought it was I don't care. That's okay. I don't give a darn. I don't care. Same thing. Then that's the end of it. Yeah, that's the point. Really nice take on this. Really nice performance of this. It was nice to hear some different things, some new things, see some things. And I was right. Having a crowd makes a world of difference. Having an audience there and have the audience getting those laughing sounds in there really makes a big difference. Okay, let me get my thoughts together because I need to figure out how I'm going to score this because I'm not 100% sure. Let me get my thoughts together. I'll see you in the review and we'll talk about it. Well, there you go, folks. That was Abbott and Costello with their classic routine, probably the most famous routine they ever had. Who's on first? This was a request from Anonymous, wishes to remain anonymous. Okay, before I give my score, I just want to be very clear. I've never seen this video before. I've never seen or heard this performance, but I have seen and heard this performance done more times than I care to count in various areas, in various different avenues. Radio replays through comedy radio. I used to have those radio classic tapes, and I had 2 different versions of Who's on First on 2 different tapes. I had this routine down like solid. Like I know the basic roadmap. Yeah, and what I really enjoyed about, well, I'll get into what I really enjoyed about this performance in a little bit, but I just want to be clear that I am very familiar with this routine, both hearing it on radio replays, and also seeing it in the movie The Naughty 90s. It was completely different than this, though, and I'm going to go into some of the reasons what made it different, and in my opinion, personally, what made this one better. Let's start with the score, though. On a scale of 1 to 10, I'm going to give that an 8.3. Yep, 8.3. I feel good about that score. Let me tell you why.
Why? Because. Oh, he's center field. He's center.
It's hard for me to sit here and say that I'm blown away when I'm not, because I've seen and heard this routine so many times. Now, if I had never heard this, if I had never seen this, if I had never been exposed to Abbott and Costello, would this have gotten a higher score? There's a very strong possibility that it would have gotten a higher score. Could have been up at like the 8.8 or 8.9, might have even been up in the 9s just because of the brilliance of the writing, to be honest with you. Unfortunately, though, since I am familiar with it, I can't really take that into account for my score. I will give credit all day long to whoever came up with this and wrote this routine. I believe it was actually Lou Costello who actually wrote this routine, showed it to Bud Abbott, and Bud Abbott was like, oh yes, let's give this a shot. And they worked on it and worked on it and worked on it until they finally perfected it. But I believe it was Lou Costello who was actually credited with writing this. I could be wrong about that, but if I remember in the documentary I watched, I believe that's who they gave the credit to. So it's very hard for me to give credit for the writing when I'm already familiar with it, but I can still talk about it. But just be aware that didn't come into play here. I based my score completely on this particular performance. Now, comparatively to like the Naughty 90s version, this blew the Naughty 90s version out of the water. The Naughty 90s version to me came off as very stiff, not very natural at all. It was, I would say it was borderline forced. And I know it's because they were in front of movie cameras and, you know, they have deadlines they gotta do and they got lunch breaks to take into account and they got all this stuff. They got reshoots they gotta do and, you know, timing with the Foley artists and stuff like that. If they don't, then they gotta do it in post and everything else. I get all that. I do. I understand that. But it always came off to me as very stiff, not natural at all, not genuine. This came off as very genuine, came off as very natural, very organic, and I really enjoyed it for that reason. One of the reasons that I think I really enjoyed this is because of the crowd response. We actually got crowd response in this. Whereas in the movie, it was dead quiet. It was like, oh my God, it's like they're rehearsing almost. Well, with this, it sounded like they were in front of a crowd. They were. The crowd was really into it. The crowd was enjoying it. The crowd was laughing, which, you know, prompts you to laugh as long as well. I caught myself laughing a few times, and I know this routine like at the back of my hand. There were some variances there were some deviations from what I've heard in the past, like the whole addition of the receipts. Never seen that before, never heard that before. Nice addition. It was really well done, really well added in. I don't know if that was planned or if that was just done on the fly. I'm not 100% sure. I get a feeling a lot of this was done on the fly. I get the feeling that they both have done this routine so many times, they really don't need to rehearse it. They don't need to practice it. So they went in and did this cold. And nothing wrong with that as long as both guys are very competent. And this is clearly when they were kind of at their peak. I don't know if this was done while they were doing movies or this was done during the television era. I'm not sure. I know there was a period when they were doing movies and TV at the same time. And a lot of people said that was when they were at their sharpest because they had to be, because they were doing so much. They didn't have a choice. But I did enjoy watching the timing on this, especially. And like I said, going back to the whole idea of, was this improv? There's no way this was fully improv. They've been doing this for years and years and years, this routine. But there were definitely parts that were added in. And I made the comment of this during the reaction. A lot of people are under the impression that Bud Abbott was leading Lou Costello. Abbott was pitching, Costello was catching. And I'm sorry, folks, that's not how this routine works. If you watch and you listen to this routine often enough, you'll see it's the exact opposite. Lou's the one throwing the pitch, and it's up to Bud Abbott to catch what Lou is saying and respond in a timely fashion. He can't take forever to internalize what Costello is saying. Costello throws it, Abbott catches it, and he's got to turn right around and respond. So kudos to Abbott on that for sure. Costello with great delivery as always, body language, facial expressions, voice inflections, the whole shebang. And I give Costello a ton of credit for being the funny man that he is, and I absolutely do. But I don't feel that Abbott is really given enough credit as being one of the best straight men in the business at that period in time. Everybody gives credit to Oliver Hardy for that, and as well they should. He's a great straight man. He absolutely is. And I'm not taking away from Oliver Hardy, but at the same time, Bud Abbott was just an amazing straight man. Really knew how to sell Costello's antics. No, this was a great performance, man. I dug this, and I love the fact it was in front of a crowd. I love the fact that there were some variances. It did seem like at times there was some improv going on, which I really dug. And it just shows their ability to just on the fly catch and release and turn and release. And it was really well done on their part, especially how they make it seem like Abbott's the one doing the delivery when it's really Costello. And I think that's just brilliant. Anyway, 8.3, I feel good with that score, and that's where we're going to stay. So, 8.3, final score, I have spoken. Well, that's going to do it for this edition of Reactions, Reviews, and Rants. Hope you all enjoyed the show. Hope that was able to entertain you. If I was able to put a smile on your face and brighten your day, then I did my job, and I'm so glad I could do it. If you guys feel like joining the fan base, go ahead and click on that button down there. If you guys want to like the video, go ahead and like the video. If you guys want to ring the bell, go ahead and ring the bell. It honestly doesn't make any difference at all to me, but if you guys feel like doing these things, then by all means, feel free to do so. Well, that's going to do it for tonight, folks. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, this is David Heretic signing off, reminding you to stay fabulous and support each other. Later. Peace.